no matter the justification, this Senate sitting down and directing that a particular military facility be established, in my view, is overstepping the power. We are encroaching on the powers vested on the President of the Federal Republic, who is the Commander-in-Chief. That's why he's Commander-in-Chief. So I just wanted us to, if possible, rephrase it by saying that they should take appropriate actions. But to direct that, go and establish a military formation in so place, go and do so in another place, is an infraction of the President's power of command and control as Commander-in-Chief. We cannot do so. We can only say they should take appropriate actions, but to say in so specification, so location, go and do this, then we will be the Commanders-in-Chief. Which is not what the Constitution has given to us. So I just wanted to express that caution.
Borno North Senatorial District. The Senate may be interested to know that I brought a similar motion last week, and the Senate, with unanimity, supported all the prayers embedded in that motion. I also want to seize this opportunity to commend the Nigerian military for their determination and enthusiasm in the fight against Boko Haram insurgency, and for the political will and support given to the Nigerian military by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, towards discharging their mandate. Mr. President, distinguished senators, if I can refresh your memory, human memory being momentary, that at a point in time, 2/3 of the local governments in Borno and Yobe State are under the firm control of Boko Haram. But as a result of the political will by the government and support, as well as the zeal, determination, and enthusiasm displayed by the military and the gallantry, Boko Haram was decapitated. The local governments that were hitherto under the firm control of the Boko Haram insurgents were liberated, and Nigerian authority was restored. Mr. President, distinguished senators, before, even in the wildest of my dreams, I cannot think of going to my constituency or to my hometown, even in the wildest of my dreams. But today, I can go to my hometown and sleep with my 2 eyes closed. It's as a result of the fight, the gallantry and resilience displayed by the Boko Haram insurgents, by the Nigerian military. But what we have now is there is a resurgence. There is a resurgence of the Boko Haram insurgency, to the extent that they attack our military formations, dislodge them, and cut away military equipment. For example, last week, a military base in one of my local governments of Marte was attacked, and about 5 soldiers were killed. And they burned all the government lodge, the police station, and what have you. And just 2 days ago, Boko Haram went to one of my local governments of Kukawa and Baga in particular. In one of the communities, they massacred 23 people. And in another community, they went and massacred 40 people. And the main reason why they did that is that there is faction between the two, between Boko Haram. There is the ISWAF and there is Boko Haram. So the two communities, according to them, they allegedly gave their allegiance to one of the factions of the Boko Haram by way of paying taxes to one of the factions. So the other faction came to these two communities and queried them as to why they should pay allegiance to the other faction and then massacred them. So there is a resurgence in the activities of Boko Haram. And the main reason why there is this resurgence is when we are able to achieve relative peace in the northeast, and as a result of the avalanche of banditry and other security concerns across the nooks and crannies of the country, the Nigerian military is overstretched. And most of the equipment and personnel were redeployed to the northwest, where we have the problem of banditry and what have you. So the Boko Haram now took advantage of the vacuum created as a result of redeployment of military hardware and soldiers to the northwest in order to fight banditry, to now start fighting, and that is what brought about the resurgence of Boko Haram now in the northeast. And we have sat with the military chiefs and discussed in details as to what they are going to do. And these are not things that I'm going to discuss here in public. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, there is redeployment to the northeast, particularly in my constituency. The numbers were increased. More military hardware are being deployed in order to confront the Boko Haram insurgency and then nip in the bud the resurgence that we are now witnessing. Thank you.
Describing, it will look like there must be continuous vigilance. Continuous vigilance, because like you said, anytime they fight abet and they think that the military has relaxed, then they will catch them unawares by sporadic attacks. And when they are unprepared, they end up losing lives and properties. Our borders are very porous. So even when they escape from Nigeria, because some of them are not from Nigeria, they still find their way in at any time and crossing to attack our people. Is there anybody that is opposed to this motion? If there is nobody opposed to the motion, then we can go straight to the prayers. The motion is actually sponsored by very distinguished Senator Aminu Abbas, Senator Reverend Amos Johanna, Senator Yaro Binus Dauda, Senator Kaka Shehu Liman Lawan, Senator Mohammed Mongodo himself, Senator Ali Ndume, Senator Abdul Nengi, Senator Smaila Kila, Dr. Senator Omar Shobuba, Senator Mohammed Danjuma Goje, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo, Senator Anthony Yaro, Senator Haruna Manu, Senator Shuaibu Issa Lao, Senator David Jimikuta, Senator Ahmad Ibrahim Lawan, Senator Mohammed Ibrahim Bomai, Senator Musa Mustafa, amongst others. So quite unfortunately, a lot of lives were lost. And people are still losing their lives. And from what they are saying, it looks like some communities are still paying allegiance to one faction or the other of the Boko Haram. So the prayer one, while commending the brilliant performance of the law enforcement agents, we urge for the establishment of a military base in Hong local government area to ensure reinforcement to the existing personnel of the Nigerian Army and also other security agencies. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Those against prayer one say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer two. direct NEMA to provide relief materials to cushion the effects of the attacks on the affected communities or the survivors. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Any additional prayer? Yes, Senator Hassan Dankwambo.
Point I wanted to draw your attention and the attention of the Senate concerning the first prayer is that no matter the justification, this Senate sitting down and directing that a particular military facility be established, in my view, is overstepping the power. We are encroaching on the powers vested on the President of the Federal Republic, who is the commander-in-chief. That's why he's commander-in-chief. So I just wanted us to, if possible, rephrase it by saying that they should take appropriate actions. But to direct that, go and establish a military formation in so place, go and do so in another place, is an infraction of the President's power of command and control as commander-in-chief. We cannot do so. We can only say they should take appropriate actions, but to say in so specification, so location, go and do this, then we will be the commanders-in-chief. Which is not what the Constitution has given to us. So I just wanted to express that caution.
Your additional prayer is noted. May we all, our brothers and sisters who died in the recent attacks in the northeastern part of Nigeria, whether civilian or military, rest in perfect peace.
Establishment and composition of the armed forces of the Federation. 27.1. There shall be an armed forces for the Federation which shall consist of an army, a navy, an air force, and such other branches of the armed forces of the Federation as may be established by an act of the National Assembly. 2172. The Federation shall, subject to an act of the National Assembly made in that behalf, equip and maintain the armed forces as may be considered adequate and effective for the purpose of defending Nigeria from external aggression and co. So, to say that the National Assembly cannot direct, that will be misconstruing, and that would be a false narrative. The National Assembly is empowered to so do. We must not, it is our responsibility to so do. Without an act of National Assembly, even the President cannot, despite the fact that he has all the powers for effective administration and whatever, but he must be empowered by the National Assembly. So we have not crossed the line. Thank you, sir.
Point of order, particular section, constitutional point of order, particular section 2173, 2172C, that the Federation shall, subject to an act of the National Assembly, make in that behalf for the adequate security of the nation, even for the purposes of suppressing insurrection and acting in aid of civil authorities to restore order when called upon to do so by the President, but subject to such conditions as may be prescribed by an act of the National Assembly. It means the Commander-in-Chief will still take charge, but subject to the certain conditions met by the National Assembly. So it's a collaborative effort, but it doesn't take away the power of the Commander-in-Chief to direct anywhere to, and it also does not take away the power of the National Assembly to suggest the establishment. We noted that, so your point of order is noted.
the resurgence of Boko Haram in some states in the Northeast. Mr. President, permit me to present as follows. The Senate should note that the incidents of Boko Haram attacks on communities in Hong local government left thousands of innocent people homeless and displaced. Further note that the frequent attack directly affects the following communities, among others. On February 25th, 2025, in Kobre and Za were attacked. The whole towns were burned down, schools destroyed, and many people injured. On the 15th of April 2025, communities of Bangalar were attacked. 5 people were killed. Houses, schools, and churches were burned down. On 26th of April 2025, corporate community was attacked. 11 vigilante members were slaughtered. And senators should note that those vigilantes came to support the community all the way from Hau local government, Borno State. They were slaughtered on that day. On the 16th of May, 2025, Kulda community in Garhawot of Hong local government was attacked. 16 people were killed. 90% of the houses, including place of worship, were burned down. On the same day, the community was also attacked in Gayawot in Hong local government. 6 people were killed. The entire town was burned down. The Senate should also note that the neighboring local government of Gombe has as well been under Boko Haram attacks since on 17th of January 2025. 5 people were killed on the 2 attacks on the local government. Senators should be aware that the resurgence of Boko Haram activities cut across the northeastern states of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. Worried that the unfortunate activities of Boko Haram affect the economic activities of the affected areas, and most of the local government now reside within the local government headquarters. By extension, the whole region and the country at large, people in the affected areas no longer go to farms and normal trading activity. Disturbed that if no proactive action taken, the Boko Haram insurgency is capable of spreading to wider communities in the north and beyond. Resolve, while commending the brilliant performance of our law enforcement agents, the Senate should urge for the establishment of military base in Hong local government area for reinforcement of the existing personnel of the Nigerian Army and other sister security agencies operating within the area. Direct the National Emergency Agency to provide relief material to cushion the effect of the attacks on the affected communities. I so move, Mr. President.